Well, this is an interesting video of the Curiosity landing on Mars. Isn't that something? Landing a vehicle on another planet, and we get to see pictures of it. That's just amazing to me. Okay, what does this have to do with the game that we're going to look at? Well, for one thing, we're going to find that the game we're going to look at is not rocket science like this. But then again, the game is from out of this world. So enjoy the landing, and then we'll get on with the game. Hi everybody, Steve Farmer once again bringing you another game from the Ye Olde Pueblo Open 2012. This game is between Dallas Elkins playing white. He's rated 1997, and he's playing Matt Noble, who's rated 1902. Now white starts out with B3, and I actually thought of starting out a few games with this move, just never had the guts to do it. E5, bishop B2, knight C6, G3, D5, although I wouldn't play the way white's playing here. D5, bishop G2, knight F6, D3, bishop C5, E3, seems a rather passive setup, castles, H3, bishop D7, and now bishop takes E5. And I thought this was a bit of an error. I thought knight F3 was a bit better, giving black a small tiny edge. But after bishop E5, knight takes E5, D4, bishop to D6, takes, now C3, rook to E8. I think black is just clearly better here. I don't think there's a debate about that. Knight E2, queen E7, queen to C2, C5, black's getting more space, castles, bishop C6, improving his pieces every chance he gets, knight to D2, rook A D8. Now black is fully developed with pressure in the center, while white is still a move away from bringing his rooks into the center, actually 2 moves away from bringing his rooks into the center. And he lacks any center pawns, and he also lacks any center pawn breaks. E4 and C4 are both very dangerous for him. Knight F3 was played, now bishop C7, rook A D1, bishop B6. Matt's getting ready to push D4. Knight F4, A6, rook Fe1, bishop A7, C4, and he decides to take here instead of pushing, which is fine. Pawn takes, now B5, still wants to open things up for his bishop pair. The game is still pretty level, and he did not play it, but he could have played rook takes D8, rook takes, now E4 here with an equal game. He did not, though. In the game, after B5 was played by Matt, Dallas played queen to F5, which is a mistake. And Matt was quick to pounce on this and played bishop to E4, which forces queen to G5, now H6, which forces queen to H4, and now rook takes D1, rook takes D1, and queen to B7. Now black is clearly better after this. Now in the game he plays knight to H5, but knight H2 was a little bit better, but after bishop takes G2, knight takes G2, yeah, black has just got a very nice position. In the game, though, he played knight to H5. Now, quiz for you. It's black to play. What do you play? Black could gain a winning advantage on this move. So take your time, see what you can come up with. Okay? Hopefully you found the move bishop takes f3. That is not what was played in the game. Bishop takes f3 is overpowering the piece on f3, so it wins a piece. But I think that white was pinning his hopes on knight takes f6 here. But after g takes f6, rook to d5, it's going to come up short because we take here. We don't take the rook, we take this. Yeah, it would be bad to take the rook and then bishop takes, and white's at least got some compensation. Probably not enough. But we take here and we're up a piece and we're attacking the rook. It's pinned. Queen g4 check, king f8, queen takes c4, and now rook to e5. And black's going to win this rather easily. So knight h5 was a mistake. But Matt didn't pay attention. You know, it's round 2. It's still one of those fast time control games, and he plays rook to e6. Okay, there's a big problem with this. Alright, let's flip the board. Alright, it's white to play now. And I believe that white can win with this next move if he would have found it. If you're playing white, what would you play? Pause the video, and when you're happy with your answer, hit play and we'll see if we got the same idea. Okay, well in the game queen f4 was played, and that is not the move. The move for white to play here is knight to g5. A bizarre looking move, so let's investigate this a bit. Now the best defense, let's go through that first, is knight to e8. And after bishop takes e4, queen moves out of the way, knight takes e6. And white is just, well, it's obvious, he's winning, he's up a rook. But what are the other options? Well, first, of course, you want to take a look at taking the offered piece with hg5, but we flick in knight takes on f6. Now, obviously, if rook takes f6, we have mate. Can't do that. So g takes f6 gives the king some luft, but we check again. Now we go f4. We're threatening g4 and f5 with mate, or winning more material. And g4 would also threaten rook to g8 mate. So bishop b8, rook to g8, king to f5, and now g4 is mate. So there's really not a whole lot black can do here. And if he plays f5, it doesn't give his king anywhere to go after rook to g8. That would be mate. So h takes g5 doesn't work. What about removing the other knight with knight takes h5? Well, here we check with the rook, and since h7 is covered by the knight, he has to play this, and then rook takes e8 is mate. That doesn't work. Bishop to b6, just as a idea move to see what white has up his sleeve. Then we got knight takes on e6, knight takes on h5, bishop takes e4, hitting the queen, queen to c8, and rook to d6. And white's up a rook with the attack. So let's go back to the position before that knight to g5 was played. If you want to pause the video to practice on your visualization, go ahead and do so, and see if you can find all the lines we just discussed after knight to g5, or any more that may not have been covered. But knight to g5 was just a crushing move. Okay, he didn't play that move though. In the game he played queen f4. And now the thing is, well, let's flip the board again. Black to move and win. What would you play if you were playing black here? Well, yeah, knight takes h5. But that's not what was played in the game. Bishop to b8 hitting the queen was played. And now we have another mistake. Let's flip the board once again. I'm going to make you guys dizzy by the end of this video. White to play and win. How do you proceed? Pause the video and come up with the right answer and then hit play. Okay, in the game knight to e5 was played, and that is not the correct move. The correct move is knight takes f6. Now, you can't really take with the rook, because after rook to d8, king goes up, the knight checks here, and if king to g6, then we got bishop takes e4, Queen takes e4, queen takes, rook to f5, now g4 is just winning very easily. So king g6 is not the answer. Pawn takes knight, seems like an obvious try, but bishop takes with check. And now if g6, queen takes f6, and then we're going to have rook h8 mate, so rook to g6, and now queen to f3, and we're hitting the queen on b7, and we're threatening mate on h5. It's game over. So rook takes f6 does not work. G takes f6 is the only other choice. Then we get check, king g7, and then rook takes b8. Protected by the queen on f4, winning a piece. Okay. In the game, knight to e5 was played by Dallas. Okay. Hang on to your hats because time to flip the board and find the winning move for black. Yes, this one should be pretty easy to see. I hope you paused the video and found the correct move here. And the correct move is bishop takes e5, which again was not played in the game. Black is winning. Rook d8 check, king to here, knight takes with check. And now we have bishop takes f6. And may I present to you the well-protected bishop on e4. Black's piece up, winning easily. I mean, he can try rook to b8, but we just go queen to here. And there's no more little tricks for white to play. He's losing. Alright, let's go back. Bishop takes g2 was played in the game. Hold on to your hats. And now it's quiz time. Again, white to play and win. What would you do? We've seen a lot of the themes so far, so what seems most logical to you? Well, yeah. Rook to d8 check. Couple choices here. Knight to e8 or rook to e8 or the other possibility of king to h7. But let's look at that first. Now we check. He's only got one move. Now we take the knight with check. And if king to g7, rook to g8 is mate. So rook takes and then queen takes, and we're going to bring the rook over to h8 with mate. Unless he plays queen to c8. Then we'll mate with the queen. Okay, so after rook d8 check, king h7 sucks. So rook to e8 has to be considered. Now we can take this knight, check, and we take the rook. Boom. Yeah, it's going to be over soon. So that leaves us with just knight to e8. And this is easily met with what? What move do you play here? Yeah, rook takes b8. And after queen takes b8, queen takes f7, king h7, queen takes e6. And now, in this line, white's only a pawn up, but he's threatening to mate in several different ways, and the bishop on g2 is hanging for black. It's game over for black here. So yeah, he missed that. He played queen to f5, and now bishop to e4. I mean, holy crap, really? Missing bishop takes e5 yet again? Bishop takes e5 wins the game, just like we saw before. Knight f6. Okay, we flipped the board yet again, so that must mean another quiz, right? Okay, well, in this position here, black played rook takes f6, which is a mistake. If you were playing black, what would you play here? Well, okay, it's obvious. You're in check. He's got a knight that has to be taken one way or the other, right? Yeah, so g takes f6. Now, if rook to d8, king to g7, queen can check. Now we can drop the bishop back. Knight takes g6. Now, we don't want to play f takes g6 because the queen takes e6. If they'd gone down this line, this is probably what would have shown up on the board, but f5. Yeah, the queen's got to move off the protection of that knight or take that pawn, which is the best move. And now, you don't want to play rook takes g6 because of rook to d7. But queen to c7 is a different story. Because if he plays rook to d5, we can go rook to f6, queen e5, and king takes g6. Finally, we got that knight. Probably should be a winning advantage in the long run for black. Alright, going back here, after queen to c7, probably best for white is to play rook takes b8. so that after queen takes, he can get the knight out of there and at least have something to harass the black king. And the queen and knight make a good combination in the attack. But I think this position is just level. That's all. But in the game, he played rook takes f6. Okay, and why is this a bad move? Pause the video and see if you can tell me why this is a bad move. What would you play if you were playing white? Okay, shouldn't have to think too hard on that one. Rook to d8 would be checkmate, but it was not played. He played queen to d7. Oh! And after bishop takes e5, black is winning, I think. Alright, let's flip the board to finish it out on Matt's side. And play continued with queen to e8 check, king h7, queen takes e5, bishop h1, threatens queen to g2 mate, of course. e4 had to be tried, and now rook to e6, and white resigned. I mean, really, wow, this game goes down in my book as the all-time most bizarre game that I've ever had the privilege to annotate. Absolutely crazy stuff. I don't know if congratulations are in order, but this game may well make international fame once it's seen on YouTube and chess videos. Wow. Yeah, sure, we can blame it on time pressure. I'm sure both of them were in time pressure. Bad lighting, yeah. Being drunk, whatever. But to miss a mate in one, wow. This game so badly shook up Dallas that he withdrew from the tournament after this. That's too bad. This is only the second round. Better luck next time, Dallas. I don't know how to explain away all these blunders, but they were rather extreme. But, you know, hey, stuff happens when you're playing chess in a game in 90 situation. Alright, folks. I hope your head's not hurting too much. I hope you know where you hid your aspirin at, or your ibuprofen, or whatever your choice is. Go find it, down a couple, relax, and I'll bring you some more videos later on. Until next time, good luck.